Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to Bare Bones Motorcycles. I'm Rich, and today we're going to be looking at fitting this to this. Okay, so I've got the old original exhaust here. First thing we need to do is figure out how we're going to get our new exhaust system and the turbo onto the engine block. I know roughly where I want it to sit on the bike, so first off we're just going to measure this and see where we stand with our choice of pipe at the moment. So this measures 35mm. The bits which actually go into the cylinder are about 45mm. Now the offcut we've got from when we did our manifold last time, that measures 37mm. So what we need to do is figure out how we're going to put some feature like this onto our undersized pipe. It's oversized for this, but that shouldn't really matter because there's loads of play in these. I'm going to borrow these off of here for the time being, before I can make some proper ones up, although I do quite like these will probably shine up alright. We need to basically get a bit of pipe and weld it around our current pipe, probably a couple of times, just to pack it out a bit. What's the wall thickness of this? Wall thickness is a little over 1mm. That's at 37mm, so that's, if I put it round once, that's 2mm a side, that takes to 39. Around again would be 41. Around again would be 43. And around again would be 45. So I've got to put 4 wraps of pipe around it. Which is a bit annoying. Shame I don't have any plate I could just make it up out of. Never mind, it is what it is, we just have to work with it. Let's get started. Okay, so now we have two 90-degree bends with very rough collars on. Now, I can hear you all shouting at the screen already, don't do it like that, that looks terrible, it's gonna leak. And you're absolutely right, this is not how it's gonna stay, this is just so I can mock up at the moment. I'll get some proper discs cut, and I'll weld them on the inside so it's a nice smooth finish. So don't worry, it's not going to stay like this, it will be better. I've taken these off of the old exhaust. I've just cut the ends off because the exhaust is knackered anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. So these are obviously going to go on like that and hold these pipes in place. So am I going to switch the bike around? I'll see how the camera looks. I might switch the bike around, but let's get these mounted up on the bike and see where we can start routing pipe. Okay, so I've got the headers on, pointing towards the right hand side of the bike. I have trimmed down the manifold piece we made last week, so that will sit in there. We'll turn that up a little bit. Sit in there, something like that. Let's line that up properly. Come on, Rich. That one on there, that one on there, like that. And then the turbo will sit down here. So if I put the turbo back on, you can see what's going on. Get that back into there, like that. That will sit on there, like that. So the turbo, tilt you down. Whoop. The turbo will be pointing straight towards the front of the bike, and then I can route the boost pipe straight back up under here. I think I'm going to have to do something about this front wheel. This wheel is going to hinder me a bit. Maybe put a lower profile on or something, because I reckon it may hit when I turn the bars onto full lock. But you can have a look at that later on, I think. But yeah, that's where I'm thinking at the moment. And unless of course I tilt them up like that, and then if I turn that over, and then the turbo would sit higher, I guess. Sit higher like that. Nothing to say that exhausts have to go down. Turbo would sit higher, which would mean up here, which isn't going to hit anything. Oh, that could be a win. Let's do that. Right, let's do that. Right. That's the plan of action, I think. What I'll do, I'll mark this up onto these. I'm going to very lightly tack them together with the MIG welder, so that stays in place. But I can't weld it properly because obviously these move around too much. I need to get the proper ends on here. So whilst I do that, let's make some gaskets. We're gonna need gaskets. Okay, I've taken the flanges off the turbo. I need to make gaskets to go between this and the turbo body so that it has a nice seal, because otherwise you're going to get exhaust gases leaking. It won't spool the turbo up properly, and makes it all a bit pointless, really. You can make gaskets from all sorts of stuff. People have used, I mean, I've even seen people use like cardboard, but I wouldn't really use it for a turbo because turbos get a little bit hot. So I have chosen to use this, which doesn't look very exciting, I know, until you peel that back a little and you can see this is a sheet of copper. It's 1.2mm thick, so it should be plenty thick enough to conform to any lumps or bumps. It's just a softer face than the steel and the casting, just so that they marry up nicely. So the plan is, we're going to put these on here, something like that, leaving enough room at the bottom in case I mess up and I have to do it again. We're going to cut these out and try and keep them as flat as possible, because if they're not flat, it's not going to work. So fingers crossed, we won't waste too much time or material. again. Biro for the win. Okay, there you go, guys. That is how you make your own handmade gaskets. It's not a complicated thing, it's just simple hand tools and a little bit of patience. I hope you found that useful. Next time I would have had the collars for the manifold, for the headers made up, so I can weld all that together. We can start doing the exhaust system, get this thing bolted on. If you've got any tips or advice you'd like to share with me, or any comments at all, drop them in the box below. I always look forward to hearing from you all. The paint job, the paint scheme has now ended. So the one I'm going for that is it's matte black and gator green, because it was commented it's a new colour for a Jeep. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Jeeps. I had my own XJ Cherokee which I absolutely adored. I regret selling it every single day, so this is going to be a little homage to, you know, the memory of my old Jeep. So thanks very much for that. Hope you like what you're seeing. I hope you're finding it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share to everyone. Tell your nan, tell your family. And I shall catch you next time. Cheers.